Hey guys, I want to point out some more things. So I'm logged in as an agent that's tagging along to this tour. There's a Chandler tour that's going to happen on Monday, April 28th. And I just want to point out a couple of things. First of all is the first listing at 10309 East Twilight Court in Sun Lakes, Arizona. If you notice, there's a couple of orange lettering in that box. There's the edit listing, which is in the top left-hand corner of that orange box. There's enter feedback. There's skip. And then there's that little direction icon above the 1 of 9. And what I want to do is just point out all of those items and what they mean. Okay, the edit listing seems pretty self-explanatory. If for some reason the list price, the beds, bath, the square foot is off, you can always click on edit listing and you can update it, okay? You can also add in a gate code. I'm not gonna change this here because of course it doesn't have a gate code and this data is correct, but sometimes I get listing agents say, hey, my list price is off. I dropped the price yesterday and it still shows the old price. Well, that's because Indigo Sky is not tied to the MLS and we don't pull our data from there, and it's actually a manual data that you entered when you signed your listing up for the tour. The second item I'm going to talk about is the enter feedback and skip. Okay, so everyone has to leave feedback on every listing on tour. If you don't either enter feedback or skip, you can't move on to the next listing. So Stephanie's listing is on Twilight Court, and then you have Esther, who's at 6993 East Sharon Court. If you notice, there's no enter feedback or skip on her listing. It's only on Stephanie's listing on Twilight Court. Reason we did that is when we first launched it, and you could leave feedback on any listing on the tour, people were accidentally leaving feedback on the wrong listing. So in order to control that and make sure that the correct feedback gets left on the correct listing, we had it so that only the listing that you're at is active. Everything else is grayed out or inactive. Okay. Now, I'm going to just skip it because I don't want to leave feedback for a tour that's on Monday, but I'll skip it in a minute. The last item is the direction icon. Okay. Now, let's say I'm at home and I just got some coffee and I need to run to the tour. I'm Stephanie Reynolds, and I've got to go to the first meeting place address, which is my listing at 10309 East Twilight Court. And I'm like, oh, I know where my listing is, but let's see, what's the best way to get there? Well, the best thing to do is click on that orange direction icon. If I do that, what happens is it'll be tied to your mapping software of whichever one you use. Now, I'm leaving this voicemail from San Francisco right now, or this video from San Francisco. So it says, I've got a 12-hour drive, or 12-hour drive. But what you can do is you can get directions to the first listing this way, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, and so that's where we're at right now. Now, I'm gonna, of course, skip Stephanie's listing. I'm not gonna give feedback because one, the tour is on Monday, which is coming up next week. And second is I have not toured it. So when I hit skip, it's going to say, are you sure you want to skip? I say yes. And again, only by entering feedback or skipping can you go on to the next listing. So now Esther's listing on Sharon Court is now available. More interesting is if I'm at Stephanie Reynolds' place and I want to go to Esther's listing now, I can do the same thing. I can go and click on that orange button, direction icon, and then it'll give me directions to get from Twilight Court to Sharon Court. Again, it's just some features we want to point out with you guys. We tried to make the app very easy to use, but sometimes there's still some confusions about entering feedback or skip. And so again, if you're an agent on tour and you have a listing, you have to either enter feedback or skip. Thanks, and if you guys have any questions, let me know, and let's get your listing sold.